What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet so that you don't end up in stupid ass situations like y'all boy DDG, or as Soul Illuminati would say, doo-doo garbage, is in right now. Alright? So I'm gonna try I want to get into this because we're gonna break down the whole case, right? Because while I do believe, I'm gonna present the evidence of why I believe, right, that Halle Bailey is making this up, I also don't really care. And I don't feel sad for DDG at all, right? Because DDG is a bozo. And I personally don't believe he really cares that much about seeing his son the way he says he does. Which men get mad at me for this all the time, but I just keep it real over here. I only tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. I tell the truth to try to help make y'all better. If again, DDG would listen to me, he wouldn't even be in this goofy situation right now. I say that to say, if you want your kid, take your kid. Take your kid. But that never happens. You know what? Let's slow this whole thing down. Let's just go back to the beginning. First of all, I told you guys as soon as DDG decided to run his ass to the internet like a female and announced that they were no longer together when Holly hadn't said anything. So why are you saying something? But I digress, right? So dumb move number one, running the internet and telling everybody that you guys are broken up. Right? Acting like a female. Dumb move number two, not marrying the freaking Little Mermaid. I said back when everyone was dragging DDG, and I hated that it turned out to be right. I thought DDG would marry her. I said DDG should marry her. All right? In this modern era of women, Halle Bailey has done about as much as you can to preserve a good girl image. There's nothing else she could have done. We don't know no crazy dating history about this girl. Her ass and titties ain't all over the place. She's not walking around in thongs and G-strings, twerking, busting splits. You know what I mean? Talking crazy, cursing up a storm, always in some dude's face. She doesn't do any of that. She always handles herself very classy, all right? She has a lot of demoreness about her. If you were going to do this, you should have married her. She had a great career going for herself, all right? She was just a damn Disney princess. And I said, listen, man, if you're going to do this, you can't make her a single mother. You're going to ruin your own life, and you're going to ruin hers. You guys are going to become a stereotype. She'll never be as successful, and you're going to go through hell. It's not worth it. Just marry her. But nope. He wants to break up with her. Then he wants to announce it like a female. Then he wants to do stupid mistake number two. I warned him about all this before this happened, which is parading other women around. Look at this whore. Look at that whore. Look at this other whore that I got. So not only did you make the little freaking mermaid a single mother, who's about as good as a woman as you can really perceive. Anything she does behind closed doors doesn't matter, guys. I talked about this before. I don't give a shit what she does behind closed doors. Everybody does stuff behind closed doors. All you can ask is that your woman doesn't embarrass you in public, which Holly doesn't do. So I don't care what she does behind closed. We don't know what DDG does behind closed doors either. It doesn't matter. We're talking about what people can see. We're talking about image here, right? She has a clean image. She's successful. Got her bag right, in the same age bracket as you. You're supposed to lock that down. You don't do it. Then you parade around a bunch of other hoes, right? That was mistake number two. Then mistake number three, if you were going to make the Little Mermaid a single mother, right? If you had to do it, the least you could have did is take your son. You Negroes will never learn. I tell you guys, if you're not going to make an honest woman out of your baby mother, take your kid, especially if it's a boy. Do not leave your son with his mother. Number one, a son needs his father, so you should want to have primary custody of him anyway. Like you should want to have residential custody of him, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying primary custody as in she can't see him. I'm saying as in he should live with you and she should come get him whenever it is that she wants to get him, instead of vice versa, which 99% of you Negroes do. Because what you Negroes do, which never ends well, is you have a kid with a woman, you don't make an honest woman out of her, you leave her a single mother, you leave the kid with her, you go out in the street sleeping with whoever you want, moving like you're single, moving like you don't have a family. You expect her not to be getting her cheeks clapped around your kids, which is stupid because she's going to be getting her cheeks clapped around your kids. Enter Brent Fayez, but we ain't even get there yet. So it's just stupid to think that this is not going to happen. How many of us have knocked down a single mother with some goofy Negro's kid there while he out there thinking he running game and we knocking his baby mother's headboard into his son or daughter's room? But for whatever reason, you think she's supposed to just sit there and take care of your seed by herself with no help unless it's from her family while you do whatever you want to do and then come and get your kid whenever you feel like it. Doesn't work that way. Never has, never will. You Negroes have been getting burned by this exact same situation for like 60 something years. I ain't even gonna say 60 because really single parent households started like amping up around the 80s. So I'm gonna say for at least 40, 45 years, you guys have been getting cooked with the same strategy and you refuse to change it. Cooked. So he doesn't take his son. He doesn't get residential custody of his son. He leaves him with Halle. Thinks he can just go and get him whenever he wants to. Parading hoes around. Didn't marry her. And we thought this story was going to end any other way. I told y'all she was going to make his life a living hell. It was only a matter of time before she says F it. She stops the good girl thing. She takes the gloves off and she becomes the ratchet baby mama. And here we are. And I can't blame her, quite frankly, because even though she's acting like a bird and a bozo herself, he brought her here. He brought her here. He on the internet telling the business, she won't let me see my kid. She won't let me see my kid. He brought her here. So, again, I can't feel bad for him. Do I believe Halle? No, I think she's lying. But I can't feel bad for DDG. DDG brought this on himself with his stupid-ass decisions. Not listening to what I said. This is why I told you guys you should subscribe here so you don't end up in dumbass situations like this. Because, I'm not crash enough to think that DDG listens to this channel, but I bet you he wish he would have. Because I told you guys, take your damn son. If DDG would have took his son, he wouldn't be in this situation. Part of the reason she even filed this lawsuit, besides him just getting on her nerves, is also because she's about to shoot a movie for 2 months and she wants Halo to be with her. Right? If you had residential custody, she wouldn't have to file nothing for Halo to be with her. She wouldn't have to even worry about it because he would always be with you. So she would be able to go, continue her career, not even really have to worry about Halo. She could visit Halo whenever she's free. She'd be free to date. There'd be a lot less animosity. Instead, you left her a single mother and you left her with the child at the same time. Out here running the streets with hoes, think you could just come back whenever you want to. Not listening. Did everything wrong. And I said, this is going to turn her into a bitter baby mama, and it has turned her into a bitter baby mama. All right? Now, let's get into the story so I can break down to you guys why I don't believe anything that Halle Bailey is saying. Right? Well, let me not say anything. Some of it I do believe, but most of it's a lie. But let's get into the story, all right? So, Halle Bailey says she's had enough of DDG allegedly abusing her. She's filed a police report, and now she wants court-ordered protection from the father of her child. In docs, she claims that things first got physical in January. So as per usual, women are coming to the courts and shit with something way after the fact. This shit happened in January. It's the middle of May, and she's just not filing it. This is something else I've told you guys about a million times in different videos. Anytime you're dealing with a woman, do not delete any text messages. Do not delete any voicemails. Keep a track record of every goddamn thing. Because they might decide 3 years later to put a case on your ass. And you think it's shit sweet. Never think anything is sweet. I always play defense. Everybody want to teach dudes how to run game and shit. This is how you smash a bunch of women. This is what you got to say and do this and be here and wear that. No one teaches you how to play defense except for me. This is a gym. I said everyone wants to teach you how to run game and play offense, but no one teaches you defense. The very first thing you could do as a defense is to never delete any goddamn thing. Keep all of your receipts. Everything. Even the ones you think that are stupid. Because this is what happens. Months later, years later, she comes out with all this stuff. And you can't win in the court of public opinion, as DDG is going to learn. You keep running the internet. She won't let me see my kids, y'all. Running the academics. Academics told them she doing this to me, she doing that to me. You are a man. You are a boy. All right? No one cares. No one feels sorry for men. No one is sympathetic for men, especially when matched against women. The reality of the situation, like I use myself for example. I'm 6 foot, 216 pounds. Ain't nobody gonna look at a woman who's probably anywhere from 5'2" to 5'7" and probably weighs anywhere from like 120 to 180 pounds and feel sorry for me over her. It ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna win the court of public opinion. Stay off the internet. You stupidly announced on the internet that y'all are breaking up and then used the internet to talk about what she was doing with you. And the whole time your dumb ass is doing this shit, she's being the one masculine. She's being the one who's logical because she's just getting paperwork on your dumb ass. True or not? But I digress. Let's continue. She's filed a police report and now she wants court-ordered protection from the father of her child. In docs, she claims things first got physical in January. They broke up back in October and Halle says DDG came over to pick up their son, Halo, and she tried to start a convo with the rapper about a child visitation schedule. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG... Well, let me stop again really quick. I'm sorry. Let me stop again. Because again, everything I said is getting proven in this video. You know what's funny? It's going to be dudes right now who either got a woman pregnant, right, or already has a kid, who can still learn from everything I'm saying in this video and prevent themselves from being in the situation DDG is in. And they're either already stopped listening or they're still listening but not going to do anything that I'm saying. But I digress. Let's continue. Because what did she just say? She said she wanted to talk about a visitation schedule. What did I say to you guys? You think you can leave your kids with their mother and just come and get them whenever you want. It doesn't work like that. You're better off coming up with your own schedule or just taking, first of all, you're better off taking your kid. But if you're not going to take your kid, you're better off make a schedule. Okay, you have weeks. I have weekends. Or we're going to do, every other week or whatever the hell we're going to do. Right? 4 days, 3 days, whatever the case may be, but make a fucking schedule. You can't leave someone with a child and just pop up whenever it's convenient for you and think shit's going to be sweet. While you running around in the streets with hoes. Did I not say that before I even read this? And what did he say? I was trying to talk to him about a visitation schedule. Nigga don't want to make no visitation schedule. He just want to do what he wants to do. He set himself up for this. He's a bozo. That's why I don't feel bad for him. Anyways, let's continue. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, she claims DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car, bitch." I shouldn't be laughing at that, but it's my head. I just said that in DDG's voice, and it just made me laugh. I'm sorry. Anyway, Halle says the baby was crying, and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. Now, let me break this down for you. Because this is why I said I don't think she's lying about everything, but she's doing what most women do, which is omitting things and bending the truth. Women like to omit. They lie by omission, and they bend the truth. What do you mean by that, Alex? Let's really dig into this. Let's look at the timeline. She tried to start a conversation with him about child visitation schedule when he's already coming to pick up his son. This is not the time to have that conversation. It's not. Why, Alex? Simple. Because he's already there to pick up his son. All right? So what you should be saying is, listen, going forward, we're going to need a visitation schedule. Or wait until you get Halo back and then say, hey, look, we need a visitation schedule. But don't wait until he's coming to pick up his son and try to now start a conversation about a visitation schedule. This is automatically irritating, right? But she's trying to irritate him on purpose because she's irritated. Whatever women feel, they try to pass to you, right? So because she's irritated, she wants him to be irritated. So she did this on purpose. Now let's go forward. She said as she was buckling Halo into the car seat, read between the lines. Why are you buckling Halo into my car? You don't need to be buckling Halo into my car. Just give me my damn son. I can buckle him in the seat myself. The fact that she's buckling him in the car seat says she walked all the way out of the house, still arguing with him, probably about what? That visitation schedule. So she's agitating him. What do you mean? When someone comes to get their child, you give them the child, you close the door. There's nothing to argue about. When you're arguing, that means you're still in love. When you're arguing, that means there's feelings. When you're arguing, that means you're being petty. You should not be all the way to his car buckling your son in. He came to get him. Just give him the boy. This is what should be being done, but it's not because she's agitating him on purpose. Right? This is why I said read between the lines. So he probably did say, get out of my car, bitch. Because why are you out here still yelling at me about visitation schedule? Go away. Which clearly she didn't do. She then said, oh, well, the baby started crying, of course, because you're nagging his father. And his father's arguing with you because he doesn't want to be nagged. And the kid doesn't want to hear either one of y'all's bullshit. So naturally he cries. So now she goes, well, I wasn't okay with DDG leaving with him in an agitated state. So let me get this straight. You agitated the man. You could have just gave him Halo. You guys understand what I'm saying? You could have just gave him Halo, and he would have took Halo, and he would have left. And you could have talked about the visitation schedule at another time. But instead of doing that, you chose to argue with him about it all the way to the point where you're arguing with him to the damn car, strapping your child into the seat. Unless you're trying to tell me DDG is so too retarded to strap his son into a car seat, which I know isn't true, that tells me that you were following him because you wanted to keep arguing. There's no other reason why you would be following him. So now he's agitated because you're getting on his nerves, and now you're like, well, I don't want my kid to go with you because you're agitated. He's not agitated at his son. He's agitated at you, which is why I believe he called you a bitch, because that's stupid. But this is the type of shit women do. Oh, well, you're agitated. I don't want you around my child agitated. What are you talking about? If y'all wake up in the morning on your period, you're agitated, but the kid's still there. You know, if your best friend forgot to text you happy birthday, you're agitated. The kid's still there. This is stupid. But she's doing it on purpose because women play chess, not checkers. What DDG should have did is said fucking nothing and just took his son, put him in the car seat, and pulled off. But he ain't intelligent enough to do that. Let's go to the next point. That's when they originally started wrestling. See, I told y'all. So now she's going to say that he gave her the sweet chin music like Shawn Michaels, then hit her with the F5 like Brock Lesnar, and dropped the people's elbow on her. I told you they always try to say y'all doing wrestling moves on them. But let's continue. With DDG pulling her hair, he pulled her hair. So DDG fought her like a hoe. This is hilarious to read. Anyway, slamming her face on the steering wheel and chipping her tooth. Now, guys, there's two reasons why I don't believe this. First of all, look at the picture where she's saying that her tooth is chipped. You see that little ass chip? If someone slams your head into a steering wheel, your tooth is going to be more chipped than that. I also want to point out that if someone slams your head into a steering wheel, you're going to be bleeding out of your mouth. For your tooth to be chipped, that means that you had been slammed on your mouth. If you're slammed on your mouth's going to be bleeding. It's not hard for your mouth to start bleeding at all. It's very easy for your mouth to be bleeding and you didn't even break a tooth. How do you chip a tooth on your lip, but your mouth isn't bleeding? Maybe she'll try to say, oh, my mouth was open. I doubt it. But if you don't want to take all those context clues and know that she's lying about this, just check out this video really quick.
Guys, like, I've always been a little scared of the dentist, but I'm going for my regular cleaning and also because I chipped my tooth. And I'm just a little nervous.
Now, what that video shows you is Halle Bailey driving and saying she's going to the dentist and she's worried about going to the dentist because she's a big kid with breasts. But I digress. She's worried about going to the dentist and she's going to get her chipped tooth fixed, all right? This is back January, around the time where she allegedly saying that this happened. She's saying she chipped her tooth. She doesn't have a fat lip, no blood, no nothing. Right? Just like the picture that she submitted. No blood, no fat lip, no nothing. Just a small chip on her tooth. Do I believe DDG did this? No. Not only because she said out of her own mouth she did it. Yeah, she could be lying for him, but why would you do that? Especially if you were just going to turn around and put papers on him anyways. You might as well have just said it then. But I digress. I just can't see a scenario where someone slams your head into something, your mouth doesn't bleed, you don't have a fat lip, and your tooth gets chipped that little bit. It does seem like something she did on her own. Like, that seems like something that happened when you bite food that's too hard or some shit. But I digress. If y'all believe her, y'all believe her. I don't. All right? Anyways, going forward, Halle says she was in pain and crying, and although that stopped the fighting, she was still worried about Halo. So she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened. Are you fucking... So let me get this straight. Dude just hit you with the sweet chin music and chipped your tooth, F5'd you, and then dropped the people's elbow on you, to the point where you were crying and in pain, but you decided to ride in the car with him to his people's house. Instead of taking the baby, instead of calling the cops, instead of getting out of the car, you rode with him to his people's house to tell his family what he did. As if his family's going to reprimand him. That's his family. What are they going to do besides say, hey, DDG, you shouldn't do that? That's his family. What do you think's going to happen? This is stupid. This is legitimately dumb, right? This just sounds like the typical toxic black relationship to me. That's what this sounds like. But I digress. Right? Once they told her they would take care of the baby, she left hysterical. Seriously? And with bruises on her arm to accompany her chipped tooth, she attached photos of her injury request for a restraining order. Now, we can go back really quick if you want to so you guys can see the bruises on her arm. But I'm going to say this. I mean, you can grab someone and just put a bruise on them, especially if they're light-skinned. You know? So, I don't believe DDG. Listen, I'm not going to say, and like I told you guys at the beginning of the video, that Holly's lying about everything, because I don't think she's lying about everything. I think she's lying about him chipping her tooth. I don't think she's lying about them wrestling. And I think she was just arguing and agitating him on purpose so that she could put a case on him. And he's too stupid to realize that. So as I said, he should have just continued to say nothing. If she didn't get out of the car, he should have called the police. There's nothing wrong with calling the police on a woman, guys. I've done it plenty of times, and I'll do that shit again. Call the police, because that's what they're going to do. Call the police and have the police get her out of the goddamn car. But going back and forth with her, wrestling with her, yeah, shit, even calling her a name, it's no point. That's what they want you to do. These women set y'all up, man. Play y'all like fools. Y'all don't listen. But let's continue with the case. Once they told her they would take care of the baby, whatever. All right. She also alleges DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her home, entered the house without permission, went up to her bedroom and texted a pic of Holly's empty bed to her, along with the text, "Now I know what you've been on. LOL." Holly says she interpreted the text as DDG accusing her of having sex with other people. Now, do I think DDG did that? I ain't gonna lie, y'all. He might have done that. Like I said, I don't think she's lying about everything. I just think she's lying about like at least half of this shit. He might have done that. Yeah, I don't know. Now, on this page, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. But on this page, it also has the text messages between DDG, and apparently he basically sent her all this stuff on Twitter and about the Brent Fayez situation, because they went to St. Lucia and Brent Fayez was there. Now, academics asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT basically confirmed to DJ Academics that these text messages pretty much can't be real. Right? I have that on the screen now. All right, all the evidence is basically pointing to it doesn't make any sense because it has conflicting timestamps, as y'all can see on the screen right here. iMessage typically shows timestamps like today or yesterday, a specific date or time. It would not say tomorrow for a message already sent or viewed. Sunday 0255 being below. It makes no sense in chronological order unless it's from a different day, which contradicts tomorrow. Geographical inconsistencies. Like, it's not true. It's a doctored text message. So if she actually submitted this to the courts, that's crazy because the text message is clearly not true. Now, if you guys want to say, well, why would you believe academics and ChatGPT? You can go on Twitter right now. Someone asked Gronk, and Gronk confirmed the same thing ChatGPT did, which is that these are doctored text messages. So if she actually submitted these text messages to court, then doo-doo garbage might be able to get out of this situation because this is clearly a lie. All right. Now, like I said, we're skipping ahead a little bit because we haven't, I don't know why they put that on this part of the article, but yeah, these text messages are fake. Again, do I think she's lying about everything? No. But is she lying about a lot of shit? Absolutely. Anyways, let's continue. 4 days later, now, she claims he really exploded when he came back to her house. Holly told him she and the baby were sick and she didn't want Halo to leave home. Now, this is the situation that blew up on Twitter where DDG was like, she won't let me see my kids, y'all, that I won't take care of full time. But I digress. And she claimed that when he got verbally abusive, smashed her Ring camera and ran away with Holly's phone. As he drove off, she claims DDG threw the phone out his window and yelled to her, "Go get it, bitch." The incident prompted Holly to go file a police report, and she says she also has Ring footage to back up her side of the story. Now, could I see him doing this? Yes. Because he already went to the internet crying about how she won't let me see my son. She won't let me see my son. Even though he doesn't have a fucking schedule to see his son. Hasn't tried to establish a schedule to see his son, which makes no sense. Right? It just popped up like, hey, I want to see my son. Now, do I think that her and the kid was sick? I don't know. To be honest with you, probably not, especially if I'm looking through this chronological timeline and she's clearly already fucking with him. And at this time, he was already parading hoes around. So the kid was probably fine. But either way, I could see him, smashing the Ring camera. I don't know. Probably did, though. I wouldn't put it past him. Definitely could see him taking the phone because at this point he already thinks she's cheating and throwing it out the window. Go get it, bitch. It's crazy. But I can see this happening. All right? I can actually believe this part of the story. All right? So I do want to talk about the Brent Faiyaz section now. So it says in there, for Halle, though, the final straw came just last weekend when she says she was vacationing with Halo and her sister in St. Lucia. She says DDG texted her links to social media posts claiming she was on the island with singer Brent Faiyaz. Now, why would you believe the internet? Now I already broke down how those text messages were fake, but I'm just getting to that part of the article. Halle replied, "Not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. I'm going to let you guys know right now, women will 100% hang out with other men with their kid. Any man who has ever talked to a single mother, ever smashed a single mother, ever dated a single mother knows damn well they have zero, and I mean zero aspirations about getting their shit clapped, letting you spend the night, sucking you off, nothing with their kids. They will 100% bring their kids around or bring you around when their kids are around. So that's bullshit. Now, do I believe Halle did that? I would like to give her more credit than that. I would like to say that the Brent Faiyaz rumors were just that, rumors. But I don't know because these text messages are fake, so it's making me feel like it might be true. Who knows? But the idea that, she wouldn't do that, I ain't putting that past no single mother. Because they're more likely than not doing exactly that. But anyways, do all of them do it? No, but the vast majority of them do. So I would assume it's more likely that she did than that she did. Anyways, please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you are okay and feel better soon. The judge granted Halle a domestic violence restraining order requiring DDG to stay 100 yards away and gave her permission to take nearly 18-month-old Halo to Italy, where she will be filming a movie for 2 months. Now, what did I say earlier? She's like, look, I'm going away for 2 months. I'm not leaving my kid with you for 2 months. I want to take the kid with me for 2 months. I don't think this would be a situation or even a concern if you would have just took your child in the first goddamn place. Because then, as I mentioned earlier, she'd be free to advance her acting career or do her singing thing and tour and not even have to worry about Halo. And it would help you because you could stream with the baby, which is all you want to do anyways. You have your family right there, so when it becomes too overwhelming for you, you can hand them off to your family, and it doesn't really affect your schedule because you was a damn streamer. This is what you should have done, but you don't want to do that because like most dudes, you always say, where my kid? Where my kid? She keep my kid away from me. But y'all don't really want the full-time responsibility of being a parent. You don't. What you want is for your baby mother to be cool with you coming over whenever the hell you feel like it and getting the kid whenever the hell you feel like it. No schedule, no set amount of money that either you're committing to paying to her or that she's asking for or that the court is ordering her, just whatever money you decide you feel like giving her at whatever time you want to give it to her, and you come over whenever you want to get your child whenever you feel like it, which is stupid and doesn't work. You guys never learn, man. DDG also has to stop posting or streaming about her and their child. Halle claims her ex has been whipping his fans into a frenzy by thrashing her when he live streams. That's 100% of a fact. He does do that. He 100% does that. Because he even talked about how I don't want to mess up her good girl reputation. Yeah, don't say you don't want to mess something up for somebody while you're literally in the process of doing just that. That's just corny. But anyways, we've reached out to DDG's camp. No word back yet. So guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, do I think Halle's telling the truth? No. Do I think she's lying about everything? No. But do I think she's telling the truth about everything? Also no. But do I feel bad for DDG? No, because he's a bozo. He's a bozo who turned a silent woman into a bird with bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. I'm just not the type of guy who's going to feel bad for that. As men, we're supposed to be the logical ones, and everything DDG did, and the entire way he handled this situation, including going to the court of public opinion, aka social media and the internet, thinking you're going to get sympathy, more sympathy than her. Guys, I want you to see this really quick before we get out of here. This is freaking Essence. Essence just made a whole damn post on Twitter talking about there is peace and understanding that you are always ours. Whenever you need us, we are there to support, show up and show out, rest when you need, breathe when it's heavy, love lives here with your name on it. So Essence is even backing her up. Why would you start in the court of public opinion when you know that even if you're right, half of men are simps? Probably more than half, but at least half of men are simps. So they're going to side with the women. All women are going to side with women. You might get 20 to 10% of them to side with you, but 80 to 90% of them are going to side with women. So she's already got 80% of women, 50% of men are simps. So she already has, right? Like, she has over 100%. Like, she's crushing you right now, right? She's crushing you because you only have roughly 50% of men and 20% of women. She's crushing you in terms of support. Also, of those 50% of men, I tell you should have just been stoic. You should have just manned up and, whatever. Which to an extent, I will agree with them because I also did say that you should take your damn child. Right? So you might have 25% of men who are basically in the same situation that you are in, who are going to agree with you. No more than that. 50% will be your max, but I really think it's probably closer to 25% because a lot of men are going to be like me and just think that you're a bozo, did this to yourself, even though she's lying. So this woman has probably at least 50% of men, maybe 75 and 80% of women, which means you're getting smoked in the court of public opinion, even though you're probably right about some stuff, which is why it was stupid to even take that route, which I said way back when this whole thing happened. But you didn't listen. You moved like the average Negro, so you about to get the average Negro results. You're not about to see Halo for 2 months. You're going to go online crying about it and bitching and streaming or whatever the case may be. No one's going to care. And now because he's involved in the courts, this may or may not fuck with your career. Now, again, we seen Keke Palmer do the same thing to her baby daddy. It all went away eventually. We knew her ass was lying too when she said he was being abusive. But it doesn't matter because he's an idiot too. For the same reasons you are. Y'all don't learn. Y'all keep doing the same shit. Then want someone to feel sorry for y'all. It won't be me. Either way, y'all, that's my thoughts on that situation. I am Alex, and I am out, y'all. Peace.